Yeah, I don't think we need the background light, do we? No, we're okay. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. This is our next daily vlog, number 3. Uh, hope everybody's okay today, doing well. The MOPS project will start officially, uh, not this coming Sunday, which is February 1st, but after, as I said, after February 1st. So the first interview we hope to uh, bring to all of you by a live stream, not by just live webcam, but a live stream, an actual live stream, uh, will be with Larry. Larry of Beers of Adventures will be our first co-host, and we will talk about his time. Uh, he worked in a play, uh, one of those great musicals uh, plays known as Jesus Christ Superstar, which was a movie, and then there was also Godspell, which we'll talk about as well. So, yeah, we'll talk about those. But that'll be a week from this coming Sunday. Should be February 8th. And I'm going to let Larry choose the time for me. So I did send him a message through Facebook, and we'll see when he's available. And then once he lets me know for sure, I'll put it, I'll put the in the StreamYard and YouTube. I will set that up, um, you know, and then like I said, you'll know in plenty of time when we go live. So as I said, for our first MOPS project live stream, musicals, operas, plays, series, MOPS. Yeah, isn't that cool how I came up with that? I think it is. I think it's pretty cool. Um, and hopefully we can get some more volunteer guests from our extended family of subscribers. We do have 67 now, so we're only 3 away from 70. So that's very encouraging, very helpful, and all of you have been fantastic for all the time that you've given us. Uh, that you've dedicated your time. You love to attend our live webcams as well as our live streams, and we appreciate it. But today is a bit sadness. Well, first of all, we just want to let you know we didn't get a chance to see the movies, but I don't think they were worth it. We were going to go see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I just, yeah, I probably think it's not going to be good for us. I don't know. We've already seen the other 28 Years Later, which explained briefly, right? Ray Fine was there. So they were going to go into more extensive, but they changed the times on us. They were going to start at noon. We got there at 11. So we're like, let's see, 7 degrees outside. We're going to wait for an hour, probably freezing our patooties off. We had just, Susanna just bought us some groceries. So we're all caught up on our grocery list. And, we're going to have a special roast dinner that I'll help her make on uh, on February 14th on Valentine's Day, which comes up, in about, 15 days from now. And we got each other our cards already, so we'll display those for the Valentine's Day week is what we'll do, is do that. So we'll have all of our cards displayed. It'll be very nice, very cute. They're very cute cards. I got to read them. One I gave to her, one she gave to me. The cats gave us each a card. Yeah, Moon Pie and Deja Vu can actually write cards. Sure they can. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just have to give them some encouragement. A few extra cookies here and there, and they can do it. So, yeah. Um, Today is a little bit solemn. I just found out from my beautiful wife we just lost another former SCTV actress, as well as other films she's been in. She's also been in uh, prominently both of those Beetlejuice films. The original Beetlejuice and then the sequel Beetlejuice. She was in that one as well. That could very well be her final performance. I think it probably is. Catherine O'Hara. Um, she did a lot of other movies besides the Beetlejuice films. But like I said, she was a big member of the Toronto-based SCTV network, right? She did a lot of different, caricatures of impressions of different female celebrities and actresses and all sorts of things. But yeah, she passed away this morning. They said she was suffering from a previous illness. I think that's as much as Suzanne was able to get information. But she passed away at the age of 71. Yeah, sad, sad day. Yeah, she was very well known. I had just, this is ironic. I had just seen on YouTube back in 2022, yeah, which was 4 years ago. She had done, somebody had posted uh, their own kind of documentary. They were allowed to post a documentary about the different people that were involved with SCTV. Joe Flaherty, Catherine, John Candy, right? Uh, you know, uh, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas. Uh, what was that one lady's name? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, among others. And um, it was just crazy. I mean, she's gone, and I, hmm, you know what? Let's see how many of I'm going to look this up and see how many members of the original SCTV are still alive. Let's see. Okay, that was her name. Andrea Martin. Oh, now come on. They're saying that Rick Moranis died in 2022, respectively? I don't think so. I think that's bull. Okay. Now I know Rick Moranis is still breathing. Okay. So I think this is partly uh, a mistake, but I know Catherine O'Hara is gone. She passed this morning. So, all right. So it says, as of January 30th, 2026, 5 members of the original Second City Television, or SCTV cast, are still alive. These surviving original cast members are Joe Flaherty, Eugene Levy, Andrea Martin. That's the other two I couldn't remember. Dave Thomas. Um, I know that Catherine's gone. John Candy was gone. Harold Ramis was gone. Tony Rosato was gone. But they're saying that Rick Moranis passed away in 2022. I don't think that's true. Now let's take a look. We'll take a look at IMDb here real quick. They usually are pretty accurate if they know who's still breathing. Let's see here. Rick Moranis, there he is. Oh yeah, he's certainly alive. He was born April 18th, and right now he is 72 years old. So whoever posted this is wrong. Dead wrong. Get it? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know Robin Duke died. Right, she died in 2020, partly I think because of the pandemic. Let's see here. So basically, like I said, Moranis, Thomas, which is uh, the the brothers, Bob and Doug McKenzie. That's it. So the Bob and Doug McKenzie group, there, the duo, Thomas and Moranis should still be alive. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So Moranis, yeah, still here. All right. Let's take a look at Dave Thomas. I'm just verifying how old they are, just so I know. There we go. Oh yeah, Dave Thomas was born May 20th, 1949. So right now he is the age of 76. Yeah, he's still breathing. And let's take a look at Andrea Martin. There she is. Yep, Andrea Martin was born January 15th, 1947. Oh, so she had a birthday recently, and she is now 79. Very cool. Alrighty. And let's see. Who else did they say was still alive? Flaherty and Levy. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually just going to go through this real quick just to see, to make sure, because we know. Let's see here. So we'll go with Catherine. There she is. Yeah. So they just noticed, they notify us that she died, and it says brief illness. Yeah. So she was born March 4th, 1954, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and then died of a brief illness this morning in Los Angeles, California. Nickname of Kath, she was Catherine Ann O'Hara. Wow, she was only 5'4.5". So she was only a half an inch taller than you, Boo. That's cool. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, a sad passing. Okay. Yeah, I definitely know that Candy and Ramus and Rosado and Duke are all gone. I know that for sure. So let me take a look at Joe Flaherty. There he is. Oh, wow. We did lose Joe Flaherty according to IMDb. It says here he was born June 21st, 1941, but died April 1st, 2024. He was 82 years old. So wow, I'm telling you, this this information that they have here is completely wrong. Wow. Yeah, so according to this, it looks like Dave, Andrea, and Rick are the only three left. Wow. And I think I didn't check Eugene Levy, did I? So yeah, let me take a look at that. There he is. Yep. Eugene Levy is let's see, he just turned the age of 79 himself in 2025, December 17th. So he just had a birthday. So he is 79. All right. So as I verified, Eugene Levy, Andrea Martin, Dave Thomas, and now Rick Moranis, those are the only four left alive. Okay, from the original cast. Okay, there we go. All right, and let's see. Doesn't look like we have anybody available in the chat right now. Alrighty. Well, no worries. No worries. I only plan to go about a half an hour right now. Uh, so yeah. So just to verify that we will be interviewing Larry, hopefully a week from this coming Sunday on February 8th, about his time with Jesus Christ Superstar, and then we'll talk about Godspell. We may also talk about Sound of Music, because I wanted to try and see if we could represent all three, because I know Jesus Christ Superstar is a musical. Godspell is kind of a biblical opera in a way, and then the Sound of Music was a Broadway play originally, and you could say the same thing about Godspell too. So yeah, so there's a couple we can always talk about. That's cool. Alrighty. So let's see. Yeah, so it doesn't look like the two movies we wanted to go see they don't look too interesting, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of, well, it's not really sad. It's just we saved some money because we thought they would be like different, maybe a really good horror film, but they both look kind of iffy. So I think we saved some money on those two films we wanted to see, which is a good thing. It usually is. Um, Send Help was the other one. Yeah, that didn't look too promising initially, but really, but what really bums us is when we go to this, Scarborough Town Center, this mall that we go to, it changes all the time. I mean, we went there. I swore that there was a place. It was probably a Mandela effect because I swore this one place that we saw that contains, other DVDs and Blu-rays and things. It's called Sunrise Records. But I swore to Suzanne that the last time I saw it, it said Sunset Records, right? So Mandela effect. Ooh, weird thing. Um, you know, where you think you see one thing, it says another, like, the difference of the Warner Brothers, where it's Looney Tunes or where it says it's Looney Actors or some weird thing like that. Yeah, kind of weird. And that was in a store, like I said, that was one of the stores in the mall. And then the other thing was, I swore that the theater itself, usually on Fridays, was available at 11 o'clock in the morning. We went there and it says no, 12 noon. The whole schedule was moved up. Everything was changed. Nobody told us. Nothing on the website, to Cineplex Odeon said anything. Yeah, they moved everything up. So no, I told Suzanne, look, we've got our groceries. We had a nice breakfast in the morning at Timmy's, but we had to wait till 5 in the morning in the dead cold of almost 0 degrees, probably on minus temperature, to get in there. And then we had one of our neighbors, I don't even want to say his name, but he started breathing and then he started talking and then he started coughing with no cover at all of his mouth. So hopefully we didn't catch another cold from him. Oh my god. I'm just glad we got out of his range. Uh you know, and then we went and we had a nice lunch, early lunch. So we had a brunch. We went to A&W. We had a couple of team burgers. Those are really pretty good. And then we had the apple turnovers. That was our fun. We went there and had that. And then Suzanne said, I think I've only got a few things on the list, so let me go get them. I said, sure, hun, no problem. So I waited there. I rested. I think that was good because I got to rest there. And then when she got back and then we took all the stuff home, we said, no, I'm not going to wait an hour for the movie. There's no way. Not outside. No. Because that's the only way you can get in there is to go in from the outside and go in. You used to be able to go through the mall, but they decided, oh no, too many homeless. They hang out there. They go down. They sneak in. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, fuck that. So anyway, we said, okay, well, we'll just, we went home because we were here with our girls. And then, of course, guess what? When we had the storm, you folks remember I told you we had 23 inches of snowfall in one day. That was the most for the GTA. And then they had 18 inches drop over there at the airport. That was another record, right? So that's insane. And then we found out the hard way this morning as we wanted to go down an elevator. We found out our bigger elevator, there are two of them, but there's a bigger one, which can fit a lot more people. Oh, guess what? Somebody on the 16th floor opened a window. Dumbo, stupid, idiot. And of course, when that happens, you have a big flood, right? The pipes burst. And then the pipes burst from one of those idiots, from their apartment, flooded the whole floor. Then it went over in droplets and all this stuff, went down the elevators, and it shorted out the bigger elevator. Of course it did. Of course it did. So, shorted the whole thing out. So now that elevator has to be worked on. That's going to take 3 freaking weeks. Because people are slow around here when they build. When they try to fix crap. It's like the whole thing just goes down. And then the other one is almost out of, it's going, so you can't see the numbers, right? I mean, you can see something, but it's like an error message, up there. And who knows if somebody gets pissed off and they kick that door or mess with the, pressing every freaking button, then that elevator breaks down. Then guess what? We're trapped in here. We can't get out. So I don't want anybody telling us we don't exercise. We move about in the apartment as much as possible. But sometimes at the end of the month, we like to go out. And we did today. Thankfully, we were able to go out and we got what we needed. We had a couple nice meals, nice small meals. And then we come home and there's still just the one, elevator. And we had this one lady bitch at us. And I'm like, really? Why are you bitching? Okay, you live here, we live here. You feel like you have carte blanche and you go up the elevator. I've got all this stuff. My dog's waiting for me. And I'm like, I don't give a freaking, you know what? I don't care, you know? But hey, you be you. You go, bitch, fly up that elevator. And, you know, and of course, all the other individual people, right, are just waiting. We were really kind today. So we just decided, okay, let all of you people go, take forever, and we'll wait for you. And that's what we did. We waited for them to go. And then when everybody came down, whoever had to come down, whatever, they got off, we got on, and we went back up. Somehow got back up here to the 13th floor, and we're back home safe. So there's that. Oh, and I want to say, I don't normally like to trumpet what I did, but Suzanne was very proud of me. And I was, oh, well, there was this poor, couple, and one of them had their cane in hand, right? And as we're walking through the mall, she dropped the cane. Couldn't even see what she did. She just dropped it. And there was another gentleman, I think he was Jamaican. He could have been. I don't know for sure. But anyway, I just said, oh, wait. So I ran over. Well, not really ran over. I used my walker for rehab. So I kind of tried to move over there quick. We both did. Suzanne followed me. We went over. I picked up the cane, put it back in her hand. I said, here you go. Hope you're okay. And a gentleman said, oh, thank you. And he gave me this, the symbol like this. So I'm assuming, like I said, he was either Indian or Jamaican. I didn't really care. I was just glad I did a good deed. And I felt better about it. I really did. And like I said, something just told me, don't go to the movies. No, just go home. Yeah. And it took us a while to get home. But luckily for us, when we went back home, we were able to catch the right bus that took us back to our original station that we usually start from. And then we caught the other bus that took us as far. And then we didn't have to wait too long because then the one that came from the University of Toronto Scarborough is called 12D, but it doesn't always run. It's just like it goes I think Victoria Park, and it goes there, it turns around, goes all the way back to the university and then back. So it's like a circular route, right? And they got rid of some routes. I did tell you folks, they got rid of 60 bus routes, totally bus routes. I'm like, are you insane? Do you know how many people are in this city? I bet you don't know. Okay. But here's the thing. Also, they're going to open a brand new line. Now, this is a light rail line. It's called the Eglinton, I hope I pronounced it right, Eglinton Light Rail. And it's supposed to go from Kennedy, where we start out at Kennedy Station. It's supposed to go all the way to this place called Mount Dennis. Can you imagine calling a big mount like near downtown or just outside of it Dennis? Wonder why they called it Mount Dennis. I don't know. But I told Suzanne, I said, hey, one day we get bored, let's go run on the light rail. Because I mean, it's been a while. Well, no, it's been almost 9 years. Yeah, well, it's been officially 8 years. Like I said, I moved here September of 2017. So it's been 8 years since the last time I rode on a light rail with Suzanne, which took her down. We did the whole route and then we came back, and that was in 2016. So actually, almost 10 years. Yeah, and we went to downtown Phoenix. I showed her Tempe. We went through all the different places, so she got to see what the light rail was like. That was during summertime. Don't ask me why I did that. 100 degrees and stuff. But hey, we got through it. We had fun. We had a nice meal. We ate somewhere, and then we came home, and it was fun. Um, but I did that. So I mean, that was the last light rail I ever rode, right? And then now I've waited 10 years, officially, 10 years for this new light rail. They call it number five. Number five, alive. Sorry, couldn't resist. Anyway, so they have it, it's going to open, and she said February 9th. So I said, okay. So sometime later on this month, or maybe at the end of the month, whenever we go out, whenever the end of the month is, uh, you know, we'll go try it. We'll try the light rail. I want to see what it's like because it's really cool. We got to see where it's going to start is underground. Okay, it's going to be right underground from Kennedy, and the next level below it is the line 2, which goes from Kennedy all the way over to Kipling, and then you take a bus from Kipling, and that takes you to this Toronto Pearson International Airport, or in this case, Scotty R37, who lives over there in Mississauga somewhere. So we know he's close to the light or the. Well, he says his house is like literally near the landing strips, or to the airport. I don't know if that's true, and I really am sorry I said things before to him. I hope he knows that I'm sincere. I think he did say that he knew I was sincere and I wasn't upset or anything. I just acted stupid. I do that. I tend to do that, especially when I'm older now. I'm a bit more cynical and I say things I really shouldn't say. But it's just it's just the way I am. Good thing this beautiful lady over here loves me for that, for who I am. That I won't change, or as Larry says, right? Be yourself. Always be yourself. So yeah, I'm going to be myself. That's how I am. Oh, by the way, if you're also curious, this shirt, this is friends of mine back in Phoenix and Scottsdale, Arizona, who used to work at a radio station. This was an FM station. It was called KDKB FM. And they used to have these old commercials back in the 70s and 80s when I moved, as I said, when I moved from the Bay Area in 71, the middle of summer, and moved into Scottsdale, South Scottsdale, by the way, it's now known as. Then I moved to basically what they said Paradise Valley, but now it's called Northeast Phoenix. I lived there for 16 years. But this was one of my favorite stations growing up because I got to hear Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and, you know, um, I'd say Collective Soul. Let's see. What else am I thinking of? Oh, Eagles, all the great classic bands, and some of the more modern alternative, later on. But yeah, and one of my favorite friends on YouTube, two of my favorites, I should, or not YouTube, sorry, two of my favorite friends on Facebook are Miss Ruby Cheeks and, of course, Mr. Neanderthal, right? Paul. And we call him Neanderthal, and he's a great guy. And then there's Mike, my friend Mike, Mike Gobby. He's my other friend. So those three worked at KDKB, and this was my all-time favorite station. So before I left America and Arizona completely to move up here, I made sure I found this shirt because to me it meant the world. When I went to a live thing of KDKB and I won something from them, this is what they gave me. This was my T-shirt. So I wore this. I wore this at uh, the one and only concert I got to see with Van Halen back in 2012, and that was the night that Cool in the Gang opened for them, but they only had the two brothers left, right? Nobody else original, just the two brothers, and they were the ones that play guitars, and and they don't sing. They just play their guitars. So they were the only two left. And then, like I said, when I saw Van Halen, I got to see Eddie, rest in peace. His son, Wolfie, also known as Wolfgang, who has his own band now, Mammoth, which you should listen to on YouTube because it's awesome. Mammoth. Like a woolly mammoth, yeah. But their band is called Mammoth. And then and then Alex playing the drums. And then of course the great David Lee Roth, who was singing and doing tap dance moves and leg kicks like he was in his 30s. The man was in his 60s, okay? And he's doing rock set or not rock set. What am I saying? Oh my god. Rockettes. He's doing like rocket kicks. He in his 60s. I just turned 60. And my wife's gonna turn 60 in a few months. Do you think that either of us could do like kicks like that? I don't think so. I am just saying, it's not it's we're not in our uh health mode where we can just act like a 30-year-old and go, wee, and do all this stuff. No, we can't do that. So anyway, 30 KB rocks Arizona. That's how it used to go. It was in a robotic voice, but it was some, pretty decent, blonde chick who was saying it, whatever. But it was all promos, things like that back then. But everybody watched it because KDKB was a great station. It was an awesome rock station. I also listened. I used to listen to KSLX, which was 100.7 FM KSLX, classic rock station. And so I would listen to modern rock from here. KSLX would be the classic rock station, and then if I wanted to listen to oldies, I mean, from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, I'd listen to this one station called Cool FM 94.5. Yeah. And then the last one I want to talk about is cattle. Let's see, Camel Country, KMLE 108.3. There was, they did country music. And then there was The Zone, KZON 102.5, which did all the alternative. That's how I got to meet Chris Cornell, right? Was later on, when I talked to him before he passed away. Again, rest in peace, Chris. But, uh, I bought, the Super Unknown album, which, was fantastic. And I met, like I said, through that station, I also learned about Collective Soul. So what did I do? I went down to Monty's La Casa Vieja in Tempe, which no longer exists. It's gone. It's a parking lot or something now. And I went down there and I was going to have some lunch. And who did I run into? Ooh, I ran into Ed Roland and his bassist friend Joel. Joe Finnerman or something. He has some middle name or last name like that. I really don't know. I could always look it up. But anyway, so Joel and Ed and me, the three of us, we just sat there and had lunch. Shut the shit, talked about music and bands we grew up with. And we had a lot of similarities. And then I got, of course, I had already bought a ticket to their concert that night, which was in Tempe Beach Park. So I went over there and, saw their concert, everything. And I was waiting and waiting for this great song, which is called Shine, right? And there's a line in it which goes, whoa, heaven let your light shine down. And it's a great song. It is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. And it was the last song. And then some guy says to me in the concert, hey, did you know they do that with their on some tour? And I'm like, well, I didn't know, idiot, but thank you. Thank you for telling me that, because that's basically what I said to him. I said, look, I get it. Okay. I was here for this one concert. I talked to the guys. I did. And he looked at me and said, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did, you idiot. And he says, and I waved to, and I saw Ed as he was leaving. He waved back to me, gave me a salute, whatever. Joel did too. And then this guy just shut up. He said, oh, you did, huh? Yes, I did, you dumbass. Yeah, and then he left. So cool. That's a great story, really is, and it's cool because I actually got to be there, and of course I've already talked about ad Venom or whatever. At length, I've already talked about my time I spent with, the Little River Band. I got to sing with those guys, in a casino, Arizona, part there in Scottsdale, and then we hung out afterwards and, shot the bull, like I said. And we talked about, uh, you know, music and things and who we listened to and everything back then. And I was so happy that they allowed me to sing along with them for like the second half of their set. And we had some drinks. I didn't have too many. I think I just had one drink, and then I was like, because I knew I had to drive back home, right? And yeah, and I went home, and I was so excited. I said, "Mom," I think my mom was still awake. I don't know if Dad was awake, but my mom was, and I said, "Mom, I just sang with Little River Band. It's so cool," because she knew I was going to the concert. She knew that. All right. I had saved up. I wanted to go. I wanted to see them. And I did. And I sang with them and hung out with them for a little bit. And then I told my mom the thing. And she said, "No, you didn't." I said, "Yes, I did, Mom." I think she eventually believed me. But yes, I mean, but that, like I said, I had moments like that where I was, I had so much fun. I truly did. So, But anyway, uh, that pretty much is all I got for everybody now. Um, I didn't see anybody come into the subscribers only mode chat, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. No worries. I know my beautiful wife's listening. And when I put in my vote, so we've got 3 likes already. That's cool. That's awesome. I love that you folks at least come in and you hit the like button. That's all we ask for. Just hit that like button if you like it. If you don't, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. I'm not looking for monetization. Never was. That was never my intention. Um, I think that died when we lost Mikey Seuss 4. That would have been good if we had gone as far as we did, but some stupid hacker from the Middle East, right? So anyway, um, let's see what else is going on. Okay, so like I said, the MOPS project will start uh, next Sunday on February 8th. Will be the official start point. But on February 2nd and 3rd this week, we go back and we're going to finish out Get Smart. So we're now on to season 4. There's only this season and season 5 left. And then the 7 episodes from 1995 when they did the new Get Smart, which only lasted 7 episodes. And we'll do those, over the course of 3 weeks there. And then then what we'll do is I'll try to get both Larry and brother Curtis uh, to join me on uh, when I do the 3 Get Smart films. There is the one in 1980, which is called The Nude Bomb. Uh, that was the first of the films. And then the second one, which was a TV movie, which came out in 1989, featuring again the original cast, except for, Edward Platt, of course, who passed away before that. So, and that was called Get Smart Again. And then finally, uh, in 2008, when Steve Carell, right, redid it, the series with the movie Get Smart, and he had Anne Hathaway play Agent 99, Adam Arkin playing the chief, right? They had Dwayne The Rock Johnson who appears as Agent 23, I believe. And then there's a guest cameo appearance from Ketchum, Richard Ketchum, I think it is. But he was Agent 13, and he did like all of these, little appearances in, Foot Lockers and, and Chest and everything like that. And that was his last appearance as Dave Ketchum. I'm sorry, not Richard. Scratch the Richard part. Dave Ketchum. And he did Agent 13. So that was his last appearance in that. But as I said, the 7 episodes with the new Get Smart in '95 when that came out on Fox. uh, Episode 5, I believe, of the 7 episodes did feature the late Bernie Coppell, rest in peace. Of course, was on Love Boat as the doc and everything else like that. But he appeared for the last time as Siegfried. And I also think Starker appeared on that with him too. King Moody, the guy that played Starker. So yeah, I mean that's actually kind of cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. So that's all coming up. That is all coming up starting next month. So yeah, like I said, so the Get Smart things will start February 2nd and 3rd, and then every week we'll do 2 episodes per day, Mondays and Tuesdays. There's no set time. So just keep your notification on. This little doohickey, that thing. Yeah. Keep that notification bell on so you can be notified of any future live webcams like this and live streams, and of course, any podcast, which is basically a live stream interview, right? Like I said, with the MOPS project that we'll be doing. And we're going to be sharing channels too. So I will ask the co host, would you like to share your StreamYard? And I know Larry will, because I know Larry wants to get some more subs. And I said, that's great. Do that. Please share it with your audience. And any of the co-hosts that I have come up and talk about a musical, an opera, or a Broadway play, like I said, in a live stream, um, that's what we're gonna do. We'll just share streams. So you can have, some of your subscribers, your family, come and join you on their stream, and some on our stream, right? So yeah, that way we get more views. We'll get more people to come out and see us if they want to follow what we're doing. Um, let's see. One last thing I want to mention. Oh yeah, and don't forget we're trying right now. It is still about 5 months down the line, but sometime in June we're going to try and put together our original uh, friends that we call just our gang. It was our version of our gang, and that would consist of myself, my brother Phil, um, Larry, James, Frank, and Patrick, and if we can get John North to join too, that'd be awesome. Yeah, so we're trying for that in June sometime. I don't know if it'll be necessarily the 1st of June, but we're trying for that month. Um, and I am celebrating 3 different things. First of all, the group. I would love to get our gang back together. It's been a long time since we've had all 6 of us together in one place, and I would love to have all of us on one stream. Um, Also, it'll be so that's over 50 years in the making. Starting in 1976, and then also it'll be my officially my 30th year of being a singer, a songwriter, backup artist, for my friend Bobby Cook and Danny, their jamioke band. And like I said, to celebrate the time I spent with Little River Band, Macy Gray, I got to sing kind of with her, sort of, at a live radio broadcast we did um, down in downtown Phoenix. Um, a jazz band I sang with. I sang with my home church choir there at you know Saint Bernard of Clairvaux Catholic Church. I was with them for 3.5 years, um, and like I said, I got to sing um, with wonderful people, and I got to collaborate recently. Like I said, a few years ago, I was on YouTube here, and I got to collaborate with Christopher and Jennifer Crutchfield, that wonderful family couple with their 2 kids, Eve and Joaquin. And we did We Are Warriors, which is available right now. It's under Swedish dash like this topic, Swedish Love. That's it. Swedish Love dash topic, and it's called We Are Warriors. And I sang on backup there. So that was cool. Yeah. And right now, as we speak, I'm trying to collaborate with a friend of mine, brother PJ Destin, who lives over in Chicago, Illinois. And I wanted to collaborate with him on a future video if possible, that we could sing together, do some oldie stuff, maybe the Doobie Brothers or uh, some of the older Motown groups. I would love to do that. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to be singing in the lower key. I think he's going to be doing the higher thing. I can't do the high stuff anymore. I think I can pull off some tenor, um, some alto, maybe bass a little bit, but I don't think I do baritone. It's too low. I can't do. Yeah, I can't go that low. Um, but that's the thing. Um, you know, and then also I've got my friend Greg Stillwell. He just recently refriended me, so I was like, "Yay! Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you, brother Greg. You're awesome." He lives here in town, and one of these days I'd love to hook up with him. I mean, if he's singing in a nice place, kind of smoke free, and if it's got good music, whatever, I would love to take Suzanne with me one night, and she can watch. She's my number one fan. You knew that, right? Folks. I hope you knew that. Anyway, so I'd love to take her and meet Greg and in person, maybe sing on a duo song with him, duet song. Who knows? Anything, right? That's one dream. I hope I can achieve by the end of this year. And of course, this is going to be my 20th anniversary year. That uh, my 20th year of on YouTube for the three channels that she and I have shared over the past 16 years. And she's been on YouTube herself for 18 years. So, she's done her thing. And I've been on mine, like I said, for 20. And she joined me back in 2010 when I first met her online. And we hung out together. And she told me, what song she would like me to hear me sing. And I did. And I did all these other things. We've been together since then. And yeah, so there's going to be a lot of great celebrations. Uh, and I'm going to make it for early June, like I said, sometime in the middle of June. But yeah, I said 30, 20, or 50, 30, and 20 is exactly that. Don't forget, we're going to do a live stream on our wedding day, which is coming up. It's our 10-year anniversary, which is going to be April 19th of this year. So that'll come in the future. So look forward to that. Um, we'll also celebrate our 11 years when we got married, when we bonded in Niagara Falls. That's going to come up in June too. So you'll have two big moments coming in June this year. I think that second one is June 23rd. Yeah. So that's when that other one's going to happen. So there is a lot of things going on this year, folks. And I hope that you're uh, will get an opportunity or a chance to watch, to watch our future live streams, have some fun. The future webcams that I'll be doing, like I said, starting next month with Get Smart, and so forth to finish it out. And yeah, I hope all of you get a chance to join us, have some fun, relive some old memories. You never know. I mean, some of you might remember an old, uh, like I said, you're right. You might remember an old musical you were really fond of, an old, um, opera that you might recall. Maybe you grew up in school, if you were part of band, class or whatever, and you would remember certain songs and things. Well, there you go. I mean, that would be one thing. Um, and if you were really into Broadway, and if some of you actually live on the East Coast and you've been to a Broadway play, um, you know, or worked on when when you're in high school or something, which is considered off Broadway. It's a high school thing, right? Which I did about three of them. I did, uh, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it does take a lot of work. It really does. And I have to give it up to Larry. He did his for 6 months. He got to see my performance, my one and only performance that I did of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which originally featured Zero Mostel, right? Which, was wonderful. It's fantastic as Pseudolus. But my best friend at the time, Jim Gardner, I hope he's still alive. I hope he is. Anyway, Jim, uh, was pseudoless, and I was one of the Roman soldiers, one of the centurions. I was such a small guy back then. Man, can you imagine someone who's starting to grow? I mean, I was like 4'11" for the longest time, I think, and then when I got to my senior year, I started to grow a little bit more. So I was about 5'3", I think. My wife's height, I was about 5'3", 5'4", and I got to play a Roman soldier, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And then I told you folks, yeah, we're almost done here. Then I told you folks, I did work on a play, or no, not a play, I'm sorry, a TV series, with my best friend Larry, my brother, for 3 episodes. And then I did work on a movie with him, called Showdown, which came out in 1993. It was filmed around the Phoenix area, and that was cool. So I have a lot to honor. In fact, I'm dedicating this vlog to my brother Larry, and I always dedicate the vlogs first to my beautiful wife Suzanne, of course, um, and our babies Boom Pie Deja. But I also want to thank Larry for being there when I needed him the most. He was there for me, and we have been, like I said, not only friends, but we are brothers. My family, my cousin's family. Uh, even Liz's, our other family, some that we lost. Yeah, they acknowledge him. They all know that he's a valued member of the family, and he keeps an eye on us. Secret, he does. Usually, he does. Yeah, if he hasn't heard from us in a while, he kind of gets worried and says, "Hey, Mikey, you okay? Mike, you all right? Yeah, yeah, I'm okay, Larry. No worries. How are you doing? Well, Larry is, Larry has a beautiful wife, Diane, right? A really nice lady. And they've been married for over 30 years, I believe, right now. And also, he's a great son in Tyler. He has a great sister. I've always known her as Char, because there's Charlene, who was his mom, rest in peace, passed away. Um, but yeah, but I mean, he has a great family, and he has good niece, like Ronnie. Ronnie's World. She's a great niece to Kaya and London, her grandkids, and I believe that both Larry and Diane are probably godparents. I wouldn't doubt it, because I mean they all hang out together and it's cool, and I mean they can look up to Larry. Larry is a person to look up to. He is really a good person. He's really God fearing, knows his stuff, when it comes to music, TV, things like that. He's been in the industry, right? And he sings and he plays the guitar. How good is that? I mean, multi talented. That's why I'm proud to know him. I really am. I'm very proud to know him. And if he sees this, Larry, if you watch this, see, look, KD Carver. Yeah, we had some fun with those guys. Yeah, we did. We went to a few concerts and they were there. So, good stuff. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and finish out. First of all, I want to thank the 4 people, including my beautiful wife, Suzanne, who hit the like button. So thank you. Appreciate that. And I just want to quickly say, let's pray for all of our family members. As I said, I dedicated this stream webcam to both my wife and Larry. So I pray for them. I pray for everybody every day in our family, in our group, 67 strong. Remember, as long as we stay together, we win. That is what we do. And stay bonded and stay together. Care about each other, subscribe to everybody. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, she passed away in LA, sir. Good to see you, Scott. Scott, I was just about to head out, buddy. Yeah, I just found out about her. This Suzanne just told me a few minutes ago. Yeah, she must have passed away this morning. It's what it says on IMDb. She was 71 years old. Yeah, yeah. So I guess Betelgeuse, that was probably her final appearance. Let me, yeah, let me take a look at that. I'm going to take a look at that real quick because I want to see if that was her final. I don't know. And Daredevil Born Again, they have a season 2 trailer for that also to let you know that, Scott. Yeah. Yeah, let me take a look at Catherine. Hold on. You have to use a capital because if you don't, then it's like, oh, okay. Here she is. Okay. Yeah, so she won 2 primetime Emmys. Let's see. Right, she was Mickey Crab in A Mighty Wind in 2003. Best in Show back in 2000 as Cookie Fleck. She did Frankenweenie. She did the voices of Mrs. Frankenstein, Weird Girl, Gym Teacher from 2012. That was on Adult Swim. And For Your Consideration movie in 2006 is Marilyn Hack. Um, okay. In 2025, last year, she worked on a TV series called The Studio, where she played Patty Lee. And she did 10 episodes of that series. And that's posthumous. And she's going to be, right now in pre production, is uh, a movie called The Shadow King, where she's the voice of Miss Fern. So that will officially be her last appearance, either as a voiceover actress or appearance in TV, which is The Studio. She did The Last of Us. That was as Gail Linden in 3 episodes in 2025, and they were all in season 2. Uh, Future Days in God Bless You, Babe. Future Days, season 2, episode 1. The Path, which was episode 3, same from season 2, and then The Price, which was episode 6. So those were her last 3 episodes. That, and then she was the voice of Pinktail. Excuse me, in 2024 as excuse me, and then a movie called the Wild, animated movie called The Wild Robot. And that same year, that's when she appeared in her very last film as an actress, Delia. Of course, she came back in Beetlejuice. So yeah. Oh man. Okay. Yes, in the studio. Stupid Tony said feet. Jeez. Really? Oh. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, her last performance was in the studio. Yeah, she did 10 episodes. Um let's see. I'll see which episode that her last episode was. I can go back and take a look at that. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna learn a lot about Catherine O'Hara today. All right. And she looks great. I'm surprised she had a bad illness though. Nobody said what it really was, so um okay. So they're all they were all in season 1 as Patty Lee, Leigh. She did from season 1 she did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, and the final episode was called that she worked in was called The Presentation from 2025. So, yeah. So she did the first 10 episodes of The Studio. Yeah. That was her last final thing she did. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, we have we have Edgar Cohn Horleo. Keep you from my manhole. Yeah. You know, I love to make fun of that, Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, so definitely. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara, age of 71. And last appearance in the studio, episode 10, she did in that of season 1. I don't know who Tony is, but you said Stupid Tony said feet. I don't know who that is, but hey, no worries. Okay, so I want to thank also Scott, Anchorman, for appearing here and being here. So thank you, Scott. I'm going to dedicate it to you because you came in and you're still here with us. So that's awesome. Okay, so the next time I should be able to talk to you folks will be next Monday. Uh, like I said, I might appear on uh, Chance Bartel's Pod Blast, nostalgic Pod Blast. Hopefully, this coming Saturday evening at around 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, I'll be on the panel for my friend Chrissy, who works at Brain Bender's Banter, Triple B, the Triple B Ranch, I call it, and we'll be doing a special discussion stream, which I think will start about, I want to say midnight on Saturday or 9 o'clock. I think she set it for 10:30, so it might be 7:30 her time Pacific. Oh, okay. Thank you, Scott. Stupid Tony, a coworker who loves saying "I win" over and over again to annoy me and others. I told him he doesn't win shit. Yeah, good, good. I'm glad you tell him that, buddy. I'm glad you say something to him about that. Yeah, I hate boastful people like that. I really do. I don't like that. That's just that's just being you know crazy, being stupid. You know. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me block this for a minute. Okay, can you hear me now? Now, everything okay? Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't want to be impolite, so I just had to stop for a minute, blow my nose. Sorry about that. Oh, he flat-footed. Yeah, he flat-footed. Okay. Well, that's good to know, Scott. That is awesome. Yeah, don't. Yeah, if you have a chance, don't pay any attention more to him. He's just he's just being a boastful dummy. That's all. Just let him be. You know, just tell him that he's an annoyance. You know, cuss him out if you want to. As long as it's off duty. If you're not at work, you don't want to do that. But if you say something to him as you're off work, you can do that. So yeah, that's why I call him out. Yeah, he likes to get a reaction of others, and he ain't worth it. Totally, you are totally correct, sir. He's not worth it. Absolutely. Yeah, we had this one idiotic lady who had this big carrier. I swear it was like you know, like the
Wagon.
a wagon. Yeah, big carrier wagon. She's like, I gotta get up to my dog. You get out of my way. I go first. Really? Really? Hmm. Let's hope I just don't throw you in the wagon and go, wee! Hey, go float out there in Lake Ontario. Go for that. Let's see if you get how far you get. Yeah. Let's hope she doesn't meet me on a really bad day. No. Or my wife. Mm-mm. Oh no. Yeah. She doesn't want to meet us on a really bad day. Mm-mm. Nope. Now we had a fun time today, but and we got a lot accomplished. So I'm happy about that. We got to have a couple of nice meals that we've been wanting to have all month. We were able to stretch our budget down to the very last, right? So when we got, yay, we got paid today. So we went down and got some stuff. So that's good. Yeah. I was friends with his friend Sean, but once I said I was uncomfortable by them. They got all mad. Ironic, isn't it? Yeah. They said I take things personally, and here they are. Well, I've been faulted for that. I've taken a few things personally in life too. I know Susanna has. But I mean, I'm trying to be better. You know, I am quick to temper. I am. I am. As I gotten older, I'm getting a little cynical. Really cynical, actually. Not a little. No, real cynical. I'm getting real pissed off. Yeah, I don't take things kindly anymore. I really don't. And the way that people talk about me, did you know, Scott? Two of our best friends who we were friends with, they blocked us completely. They completely. Not only on YouTube and not only through everything else, but on Facebook. Okay? These were trusted friends that we thought we knew, and they blocked us. And one of them's a God fearing man. Wow. Allegedly. Allegedly. Right, babe. And then, and then we had two other people who, we even made this young lady a niece. That was a mistake. That must have been what one thing they were pissed off with. But it was guilt by association, my friend. People that we were trying to renew some kind of, you know, repentance, try to forgive each other, try to bring back a bunch of people, and that didn't work. So I just, it was crazy. Oh yeah, right. One stupid Tony said feet. I knew he was a fake person. Oh, of course, we had fake friends. Four of them. Oh no, five fake friends that are no longer a part of us at all. So we had our own fake friends. hmm And if he's a fake person, you just don't want anything else to do with it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say about that. You just don't pay attention to him. You go, go F yourself. That's what you tell him. Another coworker of mine got mad at me for calling him a Trumper. Oh, because of Trump, yeah. And he claimed, and he ain't Republican, but he's openly support Trump. So um, simply was just holding the mirror at him for what he is. Right. Well, yeah, he's just a fake person. Dude, you know what? He's not even significant. So I would say to you, Scott, just let the bygones be bygones. Let him be his own dumb self, and you go on and do better things. That's what you do. And I just saw that you did. Uh, I know what you did last summer, 2025. Yeah, you did a review of that. So I'll take a look at that and see what you said about it. Um, yeah, we didn't go see our movies we were hoping to see today because they didn't seem worth it. I just, I kept recalling in my mind, why is it that I'm gonna dread it, if I go to see these two movies, and what happens if we fall asleep, between them, and then realize we wasted money, and we wanted to get home because it is going to get down to zero tonight. It is only 7 degrees that it was. Right now it's 14 degrees. So it actually, that's amazing. It actually went up a little bit and got to 14. So that's still low, but yeah, but it was supposed to get down to zero. I think that's tomorrow. So we'll see. Thank you. Well, you're welcome, Scott. Come on. I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here for you. Suzanne's here for you. We're praying for you every day, buddy. You know we are. We're sincere. We do. We love you guys. I plan to review Sadie Sink movie. Okay, next week. Awesome. Awesome. I'll take a look at that too. Yeah, I want to go see what you said about this. I know what you did last summer thing. Oh, he said I was being foolish for tagging him on Trump's memes. It's hilarious. Oh, nice. Well, nice comeback. Okay. All right. Yeah. Make him foolish. Yeah. Foolish choice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Trump card is, he's causing a lot of problems. Gotta say, just yeah. I don't even want to go into what he's doing. Hey, I don't live there anymore. That's the whole thing. I don't know why I talk about the idiot in the first place. The dictator, as my parents called him. You know, our parents, call him a dictator. Hey, they're not wrong. Oh no, no, no. My parents are correct. As far as that goes, I got to worry about a dumbass up here who runs the country. We call him Carney Clown Car. Carney on the clown car, or clown car, clown car Carney. We don't even have to say his first name. People know him around here as a moron. But that's okay, though. Then we got this mayor, okay? Now, she's weird. I mean, her name is Olivia Chow. Really? Olivia Chowhound. Okay, I get it. Sure. Let's see what you can run. I don't know. Really, it's really insane. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, starting this next month, I'm going to try my absolute best to avoid any sort of political talk. Just saying, I'm going to try my absolute best. That's all I can do about that. I really don't care anymore. Whoever's running whatever country or whatever you do, just as long as you don't decide that you want to nuke Canada and do something weird ass thing with us, as long as you don't do that, we're fine. Bygones be bygones. You stay where you are. We stay where we are. Do what we do, and that's it. That's all we have to do, right? No big deal. No big deal. And I'm glad you did that, man. That sounds hilarious. Alrighty. Well, we got 2 people watching, and we've got 4 likes, as I said. And one of them is Scott, Anchor Man. Anchorman Cornholio, or Anchor Cornholio. He says goes by here 75. So thank you, Scott. I really do appreciate you being here. I appreciate that. And the second person who's lurking somewhere. But thank you. And the 4 people that voted likes. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and shut this down so I'll get a chance to relax. I'll go watch your quick review video there, sir. Um, because I'm still going through a flu right now. It's on its last legs for both of us, I hope. But yeah, still trying to get over it. So don't want to talk for too long. That's why I said I'm going to start the MOPS thing next month. February 8th is when we'll start that on a Sunday afternoon. So anyway, I do want to thank Larry, of course, as I said, dedicated to him today, for saying always be yourself. For my beautiful wife, Suzanne, who always says, leave everything in God's hands. Can't go wrong with that piece of advice. Also want to thank brothers Matt. Matt, I hope you're feeling better. I really hope so, because we're sick, but we're trying to get over it. We're almost over it, I think. But you, sir, I know you weren't feeling really well. So, Matt, please get well soon. And also to our brother Jim of Jim's Landscape LLC #1 Commodore Productions. I want to say thank you to both of them for allowing me to say, remember, you'll never know where you'll hear or see me next. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Boom, 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 ding, 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 all that stuff. Yeah. And of course, as Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert at the Movies, formerly of the Chicago Tribune, great nerd and also wonderful movie critic, he always said, and now the aisle is closed. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Scott, for being here. I appreciate you being here, buddy. And thank you, everyone, for listening to me today. If you get a chance to rewatch this, don't forget, just hit the like button. That's all I need. And like I said, if you want to keep notified of what's happening all next month, that we're going to be going into stuff, hit that notification bell. Like I said, don't forget to share this too. And remember, if you haven't subbed yet, please give us a chance. We won't steer you wrong. We're good people here, Suzanne and I. We're a good couple. We love people. We care about them. We pray for them. We do everything possible to make this a kind channel. As it says in our motto, kindness reigns. God's our pilot. That's it. That's all you need to know. So with all the prayers I've given today to everybody in our family and everybody else we know, amen and amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, rest and for thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, yours now and forever, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Amen. So, thank you, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and peace from all of us here. And we'll see you February 2nd, next month, as we start our MOPS project and the final pop culture series, Get Smart. So take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. at ChattyBloggerMS, which of course stands for Mikey Sues. Take care.